Ladies and gentlemen, let me take this opportunity to welcome you to a truly grand occasion, the Heritage Foundation's 50th year anniversary induction ceremony for the RVMH Hall of Fame. 50 years. Start this night out with a round of applause for yourselves for what you have done. One of the first things I want to do this evening is clear up the whole local media icon thing that you see in your program. That is Daryl, who is the maven of marketing. That is his way of saying, I'm the old AM radio guy that he could get to pinch hit for Gary Sieber and it wouldn't cost him anything. So that's where local media icon comes in. I do want to apologize for those of you who came to see Gary and to be entertained tonight. I know that you're disappointed. That's not the first time I've had to deal with that. My bride truly thought she was going to marry Matthew McConaughey. This is what she got. All right, all right, all right. But as that rock and roll icon once sang, well, as a matter of fact, he's still singing it at 70 years old, you can't always get what you want. But sometimes, if you try hard enough, you get what you need. And tonight, we need a celebration of a truly great industry that has survived challenges over the last 2 or 3 years and has come out stronger than ever. So give yourselves, if you will, another round of applause for what you have done. Before we move on with some of the introductions, I thought it would be appropriate if we could take just a moment and pause for a moment of silence. Jackie Walorski was truly a great friend of this industry, and her loss will be impactful. So if you would, at your seats, just a moment of silence to honor Jackie, the 3 others who lost their lives in our tragic accident, and also a brief prayer for all of us as we move forward. Thank you, God, for Jackie's service, and thank all of you for coming along. I'd have my first real challenge of the night. My name is Vincent Joseph Dominic. I am the oldest grandson of a Sicilian Catholic grandmother. If I mess up this introduction, I will be in purgatory and she'll be shaking her finger at me as we go. Please welcome to the stage Debbie Brunaforte, who is the chairman of the board of the Hall of Fame class of 2014. Debbie, did I get it right? Am I off the purgatory hook? All right. Thank you.
Good job. Just a moment to welcome everyone, and what a great evening. Just a moment ago, someone said there's no industry in America that has closer relationships and friendships than this industry, and I believe that to be true. Thank you for coming for our 50th celebration, and I would like to introduce to you the board of directors of the RVMH Foundation. Please hold your applause. As I read your name, please stand up, and then we can applause at the end. Daryl Sear is our president. Dave Sheets, Ron Reimer, Spencer Rohn, Leo Pagione, Tom Walworth, and myself. So thank you, everyone. The board and so many other people in our industry believe in our mission of preserving the industry and providing some entertainment. And if you have not gone through the brand new Manufactured Housing Museum, it's not quite finished, it's probably a month away, but it is spectacular. And please don't miss the opportunity to go through. I think you're going to be very pleased. Thank you, enjoy your dinner.
And now the pressure's off. Even a former AM sports guy can't mess this name up. Please welcome to the stage the Chairman Emeritus, Barry Cole.
It used to be easy walking up those steps. 20 years later, man, it's getting tougher and tougher. It's neat. I look over here and I see all the green jackets. And I'm so proud that you guys are wearing your green jackets. This honor that you have is so special. And I go to industry functions and I see people that have been inducted and they do not wear their green jacket. And I say, why? He goes, I think it's arrogant. I don't know why. Are you ashamed? This is the biggest honor that you have. It's the best publicity that we have. If every industry function, you should be wearing your green jacket. So I beg you and ask you, inductees, please wear your green jackets. Thank you. Okay, now what I'm here to do. First, I'd like to have all the new inductees come up to the stage. Please come up. All 10. No, up here. You did good. All right, Tim. Okay, as I read your name, please come up to the front, up here, in front of the stage. Don't come up here. We're already up here, in front of the stage. Okay, 1992, Jim Clayton, please come up. 2000, Jerry Pickrell, please come up. 2003, Newt Kindland, please come up. 2004, Martin Lown. 2005, BJ Thompson. Rick Horsey, please come up. 2006, Don Westfall. 2006, Mike Molino. Mike Molino's here. What's going on? 2006, Jim Schooler. Schooler Foundation, Schooler Museum, Schooler everything. Come on up, Jim. 2007, Mel Adams. Please come up. 2008, Daryl Sear. 2008, Gordon Collins. 2009, Peter Legal. 2009, Kevin Clayton. 2009, Tim DeWitt. 2010, Jess Maxey. 2011, George the Colonel Allen. 2013, Tom Walworth. 2014, Debbie Brinacate. I got to pronounce her name. She's the new chairman of the board, huh? 2015, Sherman Goldenberg. 2015, Bill Thomas. 16, Joe Stegmeyer. 17, Chris Lindsay. 17, Spencer Rohn. 18, Greg Bohr. I got a lot more, so hang with me. 18, Dan Pearson. Okay, 18, Roger Faulkner. 19, Randy Biles. 19, Leo Pagioni. 19, Richard Ernst. 19, Lance Wilson. 19, Wally Comer. 20, Dave Schultz. 20, Garth Kane. 21, Eleanor Ham. 21, Bob Teague. 21, Jeff Hirsch. 21, Charlie Lott. 21, Robert Parrish. Have I missed somebody like we normally do? Please raise your hand and come up. If we didn't miss anybody, this was like a first time. What, Bruce? I had dinner with you last night. I don't even have you on the list. He's on the board now, the Hall of Fame. Here, let's hear for Bruce. Good job, Bruce. Who else? Alan Spencer. I left him off the list on purpose, but come on up. Okay, we're going to do a picture now, and then we'll get on with the ceremony. Everybody smile. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. And now I'd like to do a song that I wrote by myself. Yeah.
Daryl, I got to hand it to you. That is really clever scheduling. Rather than trying to herd cats at the end of the program, you don't feed them until they come up for the picture. I got to remember that for future events. Jerry Pickrell, please come to the stage. Now, Jerry, my Methodist friend, I know how Methodist prayers can go. So I just want to remind you that the only thing standing between these people out here and dinner is you.
Let us pray. Gracious Father, may we feel your presence among us as we gather this evening to induct the class of 2022 into the Hall of Fame. We thank them for their dedication and accomplishments to the RVMH industries and their communities. This is a very special class as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the RVMH Heritage Foundation. Let us remember the industry leaders who had a dream in the early 70s that one day we would have a museum that would record our rich heritage and honor the leaders. Despite enormous hurdles, the dream has been completed with the opening of the state-of-the-art manufactured housing wing. Let us remember the presidents, board of directors, staff, and volunteers who have served these 50 years. Tonight we mourn the tragic loss of our good friend, Congresswoman Jackie Walorski, and her staff members, Zach and Emma. Let us remember David Humphrey, for many years, the voice of the RV industry. Bob Baruti, Maggie Stevenson, Dennis Harney, Francis Kinnard, Larry Rembarger, William Warwick, Arden Stutzman, Ernie Nagy, and Bill Riblett, who have played major roles in our industries over the years and now rest in eternal peace. We pray for peace in Ukraine, for the families who have lost loved ones, willing to pay the price for freedoms we too often take for granted. Lord, we lift up the families who lost loved ones and possessions as a result of the tragic fires, floods, tornadoes that have ravaged our country. Watch over our servicemen and women, police officers, firemen, and first responders, and keep them safe and free from harm. Let us set aside our differences and honor your commandment to love our neighbors as ourselves. Thank you for the blessings you have bestowed upon us and for your love and guidance on our journey through life. Bless this food we share tonight. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, my friend. Folks, thank you for your attention. Enjoy the meal, and most of all, enjoy each other's company as the celebration continues. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As we get ready to roll into the event program, how about a nice round of applause for some folks who did a really great job preparing and serving you. The folks from Navarre Hospitality are top-notch, and I'm sure you'll agree that they made things mighty tasty for this evening. Well, the ancient texts say that those of us who live without dreams or vision perish. 10 years ago, this man came to the RV Hall of Fame leadership with dreams and vision. And while it may be a bit of an exaggeration to say that we would have been in danger of perishing, it's not a far stretch. We had not maximized the potential of what this could be as a gem for the single greatest industry in Elkhart County. This man's dreams and vision got the ball rolling. This man's dreams and vision provided collaborations and partnerships. This man's dreams and visions probably grated a little bit on one or two of you during the course of the last 10 years, but this man's dreams and visions helped us get the job done. And the good news is that he hasn't stopped dreaming, and he still has vision. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podium, Darrell Sear, the president and a member of the Hall of Fame class of 2008.
He's right about the vision and the dream, but that started back in 2016 after I had agreed to help right the ship in 2012. And we're really close to completing that vision, but we'll talk about that a little later. But for the past 10 years, as your president, I've always given a Hall of Fame State of the Hall, I got a heart too, State of the Hall address. And that will begin in just a few minutes. It's going to be a little bit different than in the past. It'll be fast moving, and it's going to be a video. But before that begins, I was going to say, how about that dinner? But Vince already covered that for me, so that was phenomenal. 11 and a half minutes to serve 450 people. That's pretty phenomenal. Nice hot meal. So that's great again to the Matterhorn, as we call them. We have a couple of very special guests we need to recognize in conjunction with the beautiful new 21,000 square foot MH Museum. One built the building and the other made the museum come to life inside. And at this time I'd like to introduce the builder. I hope he's here, Brad Rodman. Brad, where are you at? There he is. And the other gentleman is Thomas Lenderby. Thomas, where are you at? There we go. Thank you both so much. The staff will be recognized in just a few moments. Then the State of the Hall address will begin through the years 1 through 50 and will be finished in less than 10 minutes. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words. But please first note in your program the names of the volunteers that made it possible for the Hall of Fame to operate in the early years. We had to have volunteers or we never would have made it. I'm not going to read through all the names, but they're in your program and you can look at them at your leisure. Without the support of the sponsors shown on the screen up front, sponsors please. There we go. Okay. Let's give the sponsors up here a big hand. Without them, it wouldn't be possible. An event of this magnitude takes a lot of coordinated effort to pull it off. Let's take a moment to recognize the RVMH staff, we call them our team, that has worked together so hard to cross all the T's, dot all the I's. Please hold your applause until they are all standing. Gerald Nehigh, Sidney Hale, John Hart, Connie Hart, Lee Matthew. You guys stand up as I call your name. Jenna McEwen, Selena Harris, Brianna Sanchez, Mary McDaniel, Kylie Estes. Those are all the part-time people. The full-time people, Kelsey McDaniel, Chuck Wild, Jose Rodriguez, Ryan Zalaric. Let's have applause for that. That's your staff. We're just about ready to take a short trip through the past 50 years, but first I would like to mention at your table you have a coaster, and sitting on the coaster is a wine glass. It says it's our 50th anniversary. Those are yours to take home with you. That would be a collector's item one day, guaranteed. And I might add, at the end of the 9.5-minute video on the state of the hall, make sure you have a little something in your glass because we're going to do a toast at the end. So, okay, let's roll the state of the hall.
The State of the Hall, 50 years in review today and the future. 1972 to 1985. The origins. On March 22nd, 1972, a group of industry magazine publishers formed the RVMH Hall of Fame at an MHMA annual meeting in Washington, D.C. At this point, the Hall of Fame existed solely as a paper entity, as a way of recognizing outstanding contributors to industry development throughout the years. This founding group of publishers is listed below. Purpose and vision. The foundation develops their objectives. Number 1, to induct members into the Hall of Fame and to host an annual industry awards banquet to celebrate. Number 2, to prepare and preserve a historical depository of records, texts, and volumes to formulate a library. Number 3, to establish a museum containing units and memorabilia to be housed in a future building dedicated to the foundation. The foundation develops. In its first year, a board of directors is established, a president, Rex Cox, is appointed, and a chairman of the board, Richard Robb, is appointed as well. The organization is approved by the state of Indiana and is officially incorporated. On August 21st, 1972, the first Hall of Fame induction ceremony takes place at the RVMH Midwest Show in South Bend, Indiana. The first class included 14 inductees who were truly pioneers for the industries, being dubbed the Old Timers class. The Hall of Fame continues as a paper entity that meets for an annual ceremony for the next 13 years, while plans for a future home slowly start to shift toward action. In September of 1981, the Hall of Fame changes its incorporation status to become a 501c3 not-for-profit organization, which is now able to accept tax-exempt donations. The current name, the RVMH Heritage Foundation, has been in effect since August 20th, 1984. This change would become very important for the future of the Hall down the road. 1985 to 2007. The first building. In 1985, Hall of Famer, industry pioneer, and newly appointed chairman of the board, Vernon Saylor, became a driving force behind raising the funds and overseeing the construction process for the first RVMH Heritage Foundation building. The campaign launched under the Vernon Saylor administration was aggressive, exciting, and successful. Home Sweet Home. In August of 1990, the Hall's first home is open to the public south of the railroad tracks in downtown Elkhart. By 1993, the 22,000 square foot facility contained a museum with 18 trailers dating from the 1920s to the 1960s, and a library that contained over 6,000 volumes. A large amount of the funding at the time came from the city of Elkhart. The Hall of Fame dream was becoming a reality. The contents of this facility would continue to grow over the course of the next 15 years until it would eventually outgrow the building around 2005. 2007 to 2012. A new era begins. With the original building no longer being large enough to support any future growth, a new campaign is launched by the executive director of the time, Carl Erie, and the board of directors. The goal was to build the facility that we are currently sitting in here today. After receiving a substantial amount of donations and a few very large pledges, the board pulled the trigger on building this new facility, and it was completed in 2007. The new facility sits on 40 acres, just off the Indiana Toll Road on the outskirts of Elkhart. It is near 100,000 square feet in total. The museum develops. With the David Woodworth collection being purchased and the accumulation of donated units, the RVMH Museum grows to 60 antique units. The library grows to 20,000 volumes, and an event space, Champion Hall, is available for rent. The dark times. The plan was to be debt-free upon the completion of the new facility, but unfortunately, 2008 brought its share of economic difficulties, and a few pledges were revoked after the building was already finished. The foundation entered this next stage in a dark financial situation. By 2012, the organization had a negative $2.5 million net worth and was over $5.5 million in debt, with no clear plan to dig out of it. 2012 to 2022. New management is brought in. In January of 2012, the Hall of Fame was on the verge of foreclosure, with notes coming due in the amount of $5.5 million. Daryl Sear, a Hall of Famer from the class of 2008 and served on the board in the past, was called by a board member and notified that the board planned to turn over the keys to the two largest debtors and move the Hall of Fame into an abandoned supermarket 4 miles west. Daryl's response was, "If that is truly the plan, I will be up to remove my plaque from the wall. If you let me sleep on it a few nights, I will be back with perhaps another plan." Flash forward 2 weeks after Daryl consulted with the largest debtors, he agreed with the support of the board, accepted the role of president on a 1-year voluntary term to right the ship. The resurgence begins. Daryl and the board developed the following goals during the first year. Number 1, cut the bank debt by 50% in the 6 months. This goal was exceeded. Number 2, burn the bank note by April of 2013. This goal was accomplished. Number 3, to negotiate an interest rate that allowed us to start working forward. The rate went from 7.75% to 4%. Number 4, to start crafting additional ways to make revenue. The Northern Indiana Event Center was accepted as a doing business as, and Ingram Hall became rentable event space. A gift shop was formed for museum customers. All donation platforms were brought back to life. 1 year turns to 10. As many of you know, in 2022, Daryl is in his 10th year of volunteering as president of the Hall. Here are some of the highlights over the past 10 years. In 2015, the debt had been reduced to $2.5 million. In an effort to eliminate the remaining debt, the Kevin Clayton Debt Elimination Challenge was formed, an MH 5-year $1 million campaign. Along with $1.5 million coming in from RV-related sources, the organization achieved the goal of becoming debt-free in March of 2019, almost 1 year early. The 3-phase Vision of the Future was formed in 2016. By 2019, Phase 1 was completed thanks to Thor Industries, when the 27 acres to the east of the original building was developed into a beautiful year-round pavilion with over 1 million square feet of hard surface, electric, water, and sewer infrastructure. The Hall remains debt-free with a large increase to the overall net worth. In 2018, with the permanent cancellation of the Louisville RV Show leaving a void for suppliers of the RV industry to showcase their product, the Hall of Fame strategically positioned itself to host the suppliers during the Elkhart Open House. This would become an important source of income for the Hall and an important opportunity for the suppliers. In December of 2020, the Hall of Fame board entered the second phase of the Vision of the Future with the approval for the fundraising and construction of a $2 million manufactured housing museum. Today, you are among the first guests to experience the work in progress that is the Schooler MH Museum at the RVMH Hall of Fame. It brings a long-awaited-for experience that will be extremely valuable to the museum and the manufactured housing industry at large. Today, the Hall of Fame has achieved a net worth of over $21 million with a significant positive cash flow, and this is despite the fact that the global pandemic of 2020 and 2021 caused the Hall of Fame to miss out on $1.8 million in additional income. 2022 and beyond. The future. With the organization constantly expanding, the staff and systems of operation are developing to keep pace. Staff departments are being formed, roles defined, and training is underway to ensure we continue to grow within our means, and we are prepared for the next stages of growth. The staff mantra is to exceed the expectation of all customers, whether event-related or museum-related. Close to 5-star ratings on almost all review platforms are a great testament to the hard work of our staff. The Convention Hall. In the November 2021 board meeting, the purchase of the building for the third and final vision of the future was approved unanimously. This phase is a 36,000 square foot convention hall that will be a vital asset to the Hall of Fame, the community of Elkhart, and both the RV and MH industries. With Elkhart being the birthplace to the MH industry and the RV capital of the world, a local state-of-the-art convention hall is very in demand. For the Hall of Fame, this will generate enough income to ensure that the foundation will operate with financial freedom for the long-term future. To the right is a concept image of what we strive to create. Please look in your program for more information on how you can help make our last piece of the puzzle come to fruition. We need your help to erect the building we own and to make the interior state-of-the-art. $2 million is needed to not cut any corners. Goals for the future. When all 3 phases are complete and operations are developed accordingly, the Hall of Fame positive cash flow is estimated to be $1 million per year. The preliminary goals for what will follow are listed below. Number 1, renovate the RV Museum. We'd like to tell an interactive and educational historical narrative of the industry's development and how the lifestyle of RVing has captured the heart of Americans and is stretching to the rest of the world. Number 2, add an on-site maintenance/storage facility to keep our campus in pristine condition. Number 3, continue growing our staff in a systematic manner. Number 4, digitalize our library and make it the hub for a public resource allowing students and researchers to access this priceless information from anywhere in the world. Number 5, continue to make each section of the organization as perfect, efficient, and sustainable as possible. Number 6, the list will forever continue with the passion of the next generation, but we should all stop and remember, success is a journey, not a destination. At this point, I'd like to ask everyone to lift the glass and cheers to where we came from, where we are today, and where we're going in the future. As an organization, as an industry, as a community, and as friends. Thank you everyone for your past and future support. Cheers.
Okay, we have just one more thing to do now before we start the formal inductions, and that is to present the Spirit Award. And doing that will be Ryan Solari.
You guys just got to listen to my voice for 9.5 minutes, so I'll try to be quick. In January of 2015, this gentleman pledged $200,000 to the RVMH Hall of Fame to be paid over the course of 5 years. This pledge created a challenge aimed at the manufactured housing industry that was then formalized into a 5-year campaign for the Hall to raise $1 million towards debt reduction. The challenge was completed in just over 4 years. Shortly after the challenge was completed, Darrell Sear had the opportunity to meet and shake this gentleman's hand at the Louisville show, the manufactured housing show in Louisville. His comment was, "Sir, you may not recognize me, but I surely know who you are. And I would like to say that you are my hero for what you did for the Hall of Fame with the donation and lending the Hall your name to associate with this debt elimination challenge." The gentleman's reply was, "No, Darrell, you are my hero for completing what you said you would, not to mention 6 months early." Clayton Homes has supported the Hall of Fame in numerous ways throughout the years, and most recently with a $300,000 donation to help the Hall build this beautiful $2 million Schooler MH Museum, not to mention donating a beautiful cross-mod home. Kevin has obviously been instrumental in arranging this support, and it means the world to not just the Hall, but the MH industry and all other stakeholders of the Hall of Fame as well. The beautiful cross-mod home that now sits outside can be accessed from within the new museum and is truly a reflection on the tremendous and generous company that is Clayton Homes and their leader, Mr. Kevin Clayton. If you would all please join me in welcoming to the stage Kevin Clayton, the 2022 Darrell Sear Spirit Award winner.
Thank you so much, everyone. The fact that you were willing to be debt-free going forward speaks volumes, and what you've accomplished in doing that. And I want to thank my father, who's here tonight, too, for starting this. And thank you. Everybody else is so involved in this, and I just think it's wonderful for manufactured housing to feel so accepted and part of the RV heritage too. My dad almost bought an RV company along our journey, and but it's just the two incredible industries that serve so many wonderful, hard-working families across America. And I think of, teachers and fire and police. These are the type of people that we serve, and I personally own a campground, and to see the kids and having fun and all that we do for everybody. Thank you.
I asked Kevin not to run off yet because this he gets to take home with him, okay? But we got something else that will be in the Hall of Fame forever. This will go, you don't take this with you, this is going to go on the wall down there. Awesome. Forever. So, where's
Yeah,
the
it was a
camera
picture
now?
taken 5 years ago, so that's even better. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
On with the celebration. And please welcome to the stage to help me with that chore, Joe Stagmeyer and Debbie Brunafonte, who will help pass out the plaques. We're going to go back to the future for a moment for our first inductee. This is someone from the class of 2021 who we have an opportunity to honor tonight, Eleanor Ham. Eleanor has helped promote and unify the industry in Canada and in the United States. She has developed successful partnerships with campgrounds. How important has that been to our industry over the last 2 years? She has worked to secure RVs for the first responders during the COVID crisis, and something that makes her close to my heart, she is a hockey fan. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome goalie Eleanor Ham.
Well, thank you very much. I actually don't play hockey, but I've learned a lot about it over the years. And thank you very much to the Hall for allowing me to be here this year. Last year I was trying to figure out how I was going to get across the border, and it just didn't work out. So it's nice to be able to be here, and I've got a few of my, fellow Canadians that are here to help celebrate. I am so deeply honored to have been selected to join such an illustrious group of inductees and members of the Hall of Fame. I also want to congratulate the class of 2022, very well deserved, and congratulations to all of you. I've talked to a few other people who have green jackets and have heard other people have said this, when you get the phone call, it's like, what? I was very, very shocked, excited, overwhelmed, and almost speechless, which, if you know me, is no small feat. So I never would have considered this to be realistic, but I am truly, truly honored. I want to thank those that actually nominated me. So there's Craig Kirby from the RV Industry Association. I know he's here somewhere. Thank you very much. We have worked together on numerous initiatives over the last many years, and know that you're always welcome in Vancouver, and we hope we'll be able to host you up there sometime soon. I want to thank Shane Devenish from CRVA. I've had the pleasure of working with and alongside Shane for almost 27 years. He's a great colleague, but more so, really a true friend as well. Thank you to Doug Geddard. Doug has not only supported me, but has been a true champion for the Canadian RV industry. You've always listened to my concerns, always taken my phone calls, and worked alongside to ensure fair opportunities for Canadian RV dealers. And of course, we also had George Goodrick, who's a past board chair of ours. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2021, but he will always be remembered for his tireless contributions to the RV industry. So I always get a little choked up when I talk about him. So unlike many of you, I did not grow up in the RV industry. My family did not camp. I didn't know much about RVs. I didn't know there was motorized or towables. I didn't know there were Class A's, Class B's, and C's. My first time in an RV, I was 19 years old, and my son's here with me, so I don't know if he needs to listen to this, but I was hitchhiking in Estes Park, Colorado, with a couple of my friends, and we were picked up by this lovely family, which I now know was a Class A motorhome, and we were just like, wow, this is phenomenal, because we'd been traveling on the Greyhound bus, and so in comparison, this was a much better way to travel. But not only did this family take us to, I think we were staying in a hostel somewhere, but the mom also fed us. Like, she made us snacks and made sure that we were well taken care of. It was a lot better than the peanut butter sandwiches we'd been living on. So it just, we were over the moon, and that, really kind of stuck with me. So fast forward a few years, and I found myself working for the RVT of Canada. And, when I joined the industry, I still didn't know much about what RVs were. But I soon discovered that what really made it special were the people I was meeting, the dealers, suppliers, manufacturers. And they're really what have made this work easy. So, thanks to all of our members who continue to show professionalism and resilience. I want to thank those that have volunteered and led the association. Thanks to some of my previous board members that I've worked with who've mentored me and given me the opportunity to grow. I also want to thank Nita and Amy. Some of you know them quite well, but they work tirelessly. My staff works tirelessly for the association. And of course, I do want to thank my family. I know it's been hectic, and there's times where we've had to juggle a lot because of my travel schedule. But thank you for being there. Thanks for my husband, Tom, who unfortunately is not able to attend today. But he did make sure that the boys always got to their 6 a.m. hockey practices. So when I think now back to my first RV experience, I realize that family that picked us up so many years ago is exactly what this industry is about. It's about kindness, family, adventure, and travel, and memories. So I just want to, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for allowing me to be a part of it.
Leading off from the RV class of 2022 is Mick Furkey. Mick purchased Greenway RV in Wisconsin Rapids in 1987. Meanwhile, the company's quest for improvement included an expanded indoor showroom and a huge parts store. He's been a champion for training, for education, and for frontline employee recognition. Mick and Greenway have earned top 50 dealer distinction for 6 consecutive years. Ladies and gentlemen, Mick Furkey.
Bear with me for a minute. I got a step stool. Wow, I feel almost as tall as Bob Martin. As you can see by the photo, even the photographer thought I was a little short. Well, taking the picture for the cover of the magazine, he had me stand on a brick next to my wife. The magazine did help me out a lot, though they did put address labels over the brick. Being married to a taller woman and having 2 sons over 6 foot tall doesn't help either. Heck, my wife even put LSG on my business cards. When I asked her what that meant, she said, "Little short guy, of course." Yes, I've heard about every little short joke there is, as you can imagine, but it's all in fun. On a more serious note, I would like to take a moment to thank the selection committee and the people that nominated me to be inducted into the RV Hall of Fame. I'm very humbled and honored to be here tonight. It's been quite a journey to see the orange, green, and gold interior colors, to slide outs, to air and awning packages, recessions, manufacturer and dealer consolidations, seeing some of my reps becoming presidents and CEOs of RV corporations. I've enjoyed being involved in RVDA and the Hall of Fame and lots of other organizations. I've made a lot of friendships over the years. As a matter of fact, 3 of them are being inducted here tonight. Eleanor Ham, Ronnie Hepp, and Don Gundon. Congratulations. In closing, I would like to thank Rick Horsey for always having my back, Amy Bliss for helping me out establishing an association in Wisconsin, and most of all, I would like to thank my family and friends for being here tonight, and to all the support they have given me over the years, and especially my loving wife of 40 years, Laura. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm glad I didn't fall. I did practice.
Congratulations. Our first recipient on the MH side is David Carter Sr. Carter's entrepreneurial spirit led him to found David Carter Associates in 1976. In 1986, he sold Penn Lumber and Service Electrical Supply to concentrate more fully on Dave Carter and Associates. In 1993, the company began producing state-of-the-art plumbing products for the industry. In short, Carter's clients have a track record of success, and in 2011, he was named the MHI Vendor of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, accepting on behalf of the late David Carter Sr. is David Froome.
What an honor. Is the only fella that's going to address you tonight without a green jacket. I am humbled. On behalf of Dave Carter Sr., who has recently passed, his family, who's with us today, and the entire Dave Carter and Associates organization, the gratitude in our hearts as a company through the employees is just, it's unbelievable. I got 20, 30 phone calls today saying, go get them, good luck, represent. Dave was an incredible human being. The fact that we're standing here right now will lend credibility and credence to his business sense. But what I wanted to talk about tonight was not Dave Carter the businessman, Dave Carter the man. Because what you'll find, Mr. Stegmeyer is funny, quoted in RB News, Carter embodied excellence and accountability. Mr. Pete Legal To meet and to know Dave Carter was to recognize a profound commitment to being the best, both professionally and personally. You see, Dave was driven. He was driven, and he didn't mind driving us. Harry Karstens, who's in the building tonight, and I want to be one of the first to congratulate you on your induction, sir, was one of the very first people that hired us when we went out to the West Coast. And when we went out to the West Coast, we went from being a regional supplier to a national supplier. And our ways were a little different than what they did, the way they did business out west. In the span of 18 months, Harry's company named us Vendor of the Year for his entire corporation, and credibility, instant credibility was established. But I really don't want to talk about Dave, the businessman. What I want to talk about is Dave, the human being. Dave was generous beyond what you could imagine. Dave gave to charitable causes, and if you were a champion of the kids, a coach, a volleyball team that needed travel money, a baseball team that needed uniforms, Dave was your best friend. Women's crisis centers. When I was preparing for this, I went to his secretary and I asked her, did we have anything? The ledger was this long, and I never knew it about the man. A giving, beautiful human being. And so I come today and I check off the boxes: a brilliant businessman, a leader, dynamic marketing skills, a devoted father, husband, family man, generous, philanthropic, and tonight, a new member of the Hall of Fame. Rest in peace, my brother, rest in peace.
Next, I have the honor of introducing not only a Hall of Fame recipient, but a wonderful friend, Don Gundin. Don's career has taken him from a sales spot at StarCraft RV to GM positions at Forest River here in Elkhart County. He's earned the respect of colleagues and customers alike by being part of the production of more than 1 million units. His work with the RVIA Political Action Committee has earned the respect of lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. Don and his wife Teresa, among the most philanthropic couples you will find in Elkhart County. As a matter of fact, Don is responsible for one of my all-time favorite quotes in my work as an MC for nonprofit organizations and youth organizations. Don one time shouted out from his seat as I was at the podium, "Turner, every time you and Deary are together, you cost me money." Don, tonight the streak ends. Congratulations, my friend, Don Gundin.
First of all, I'd like to thank the people that nominated me for the induction, because it is quite an honor. I'm really, truly honored to be here tonight, being inducted in the Hall of Fame. August has been a very eventful month for me, with the induction this evening, and 10 days ago, Teresa and I celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary. It is a humbling experience to see so many friends, co-workers, customers, and business associates here to celebrate with me this evening. As I was thinking about what I wanted to say, I thought about the current difficult times that we're in, and I find it very ironic that shortly after I began my RV career, we experienced the first Arab oil embargo. I remember that OPEC told us that they had 10 years of oil left and we were done. And settled science told us that climate change had us entering another ice age. Well, we're still here. I want to thank my family for their tolerance to my unusual work hours and my last-minute trips. I want to thank Pete Legal for the late-night phone call and early morning flight to Wilmington, and for the many opportunities he has given me. I have way too many coworkers to thank in a 2-minute speech. That being said, I've been extremely fortunate to have been associated with a lot of strong, hardworking people. Years ago, someone told me that if you surround yourself with people that are smarter or more talented than you are, it should work out pretty well. It turns out that was really great advice. Thank you for the honor. I look forward to being part of the continued success of the RV business.
$50 years, Teresa? 50 years? Somewhere in heaven there is a big house that belongs to you. St. Peter's going to go, oh yeah, you're up here. No, that's the Pope's house. Yours is the one that's even bigger because you lived with Gundon. Our next MH honoree is Raylan Gritton. Gritton has been a part of the manufactured housing industry for more than 50 years. He started his first retail home center in 1974, and he was soon overseeing 4 of California's largest locations. Gritton was the #1 retailer in the country for 4 consecutive years, and he was the best in the West for 11 straight years. Raylan's extensive volunteer service also includes work for the California Manufactured Housing Institute. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Raylan Gritton.
Well, first of all, I'm a little intimidated by all these green jackets out here. But, when you look at our careers, or most of the people in the industry, we've been in it a long time, and what it really boils down to is people, family, and the people you work with and the relationships you create. That's what it is at the end of the day. Fortunately, I have such a wonderful family that has supported me for all these years. A fantastic wife who has supported all my decisions, right, wrong, or indifferent. And 2 great sons. Lucky I have one of them as a partner in my business. And I have some other really great family members that I consider family, and that's all my employees. 2 of them are here with me today. The length of our employees in our retail organization is 8.5 years. Kind of unheard of in this industry. We have a lot of 20-year employees, 25-year employees, that type of thing. So we really work on retention of people because that's what it's all about. And I learned that in the COVID era, where I used to travel for 20 years every week to every location. We have 13 locations, so I was in Oregon, Washington, Arizona, wherever, at all these lots. And I really felt I had to be there until COVID hit. And I didn't show up for a year, and we had the best year we've ever had. We did $100 million. We did $100 million in wholesale sales and $200 million in retail sales, and I never went to a lot. So, kind of an ego blast for me, but what it shows you is it's really all about people and the people you hire, and it's been said here earlier, who's important. It's all the relationship you have with people, and I have some tremendous relationship with the factories we do business with. I'm so honored tonight. I have a 50-year relationship with Harry Karsten, doing business with him. I have a 25-year business relationship with Tim Williams and 21st. So it's a special night for me to be categorized with these gentlemen who are so fantastic for this industry. Clayton, Champion, and Cavco. I don't know if you could ask for 3 better companies going forward in this industry to lead us with the right integrity, the right vision, the right responsibility, customers first. And so when you look at our industry going forward, you can only see that the best is yet to come. And we have a lot of green jackets in this room tonight. There's a lot of people here that are going to get green jackets. And in this industry, we have a lot of people that aren't here tonight. They're going to get green jackets. And as we move forward, we have so much opportunity in this business to get better, to get bigger, to get smarter. And it's people like you in this business, in this room, that make it happen. And because you filter down to all the rest of the people you associate with to make this a phenomenal industry. And I've devoted my 47 years, and one of the proudest things I could say about is you can still dial 209-545-1651 from 1974 till today, and you'll still get the same answer because we're still there. So on behalf of the Hall of Fame and all the people that inaugurate, I'm super honored by your indoctrination. I know several of you. It's a lifelong achievement. I couldn't be happier. You know, I have a great life. I really do. But tonight, it's a much better life. Thank you very much.
Back on the RV class, Bill Redmond. Bill is the former president of Buchar's RV Center in Calgary, Alberta. His council as a board member has helped shape several RV-related businesses throughout Canada. Bill has been committed to serving the industry as a past president of the RVDA in Alberta and the RVDA in Canada. He is a committed Rotarian. Bill has served as president of his Calgary club and as president of the club's foundation. Please welcome to the stage, Bill Redmond.
Thank you very much. I too am very humbled when I got the phone call that I'd been selected to this elite group of individuals. I bought Bucars 33 years ago. I had quite a bit of business experience, but I knew absolutely nothing about the RV industry. And the most amazing thing was how I was accepted and schooled by my competitors from coast to coast, as well as those people that were in the 20 group that I joined. I accept this award on behalf of a whole bunch of people that helped me along the way. My wife, Maggie, who put up with peculiar hours of operation and a long time away from the dealership. My two sons, who filled in the gaps when I was away doing other things and have brought the dealership to new heights and success. I'd also like to thank those members of the staff, and they're represented here tonight by four of our managers. It's the people that work for us, those whose shoulders we stand on, that make our success. So thank you very much. Thank you very much to the Hall of Fame for this honor, and congratulations to those other members of the class of 2022. Thank you.
From the MH class of 2022 is Harry Karsten. I loved the portion of the biography you'll find in the program that Harry provided. He credits Hall of Fame mentors Arthur Decio and Jerry Golden for much of his success. But we talk about family here in this industry, and that certainly demonstrates it. Harry became the director of sales at Golden West in 1969, and he helped guide the company's massive growth in the western United States. Harry and his partners in 1994 formed Karsten Homes, and in 1999 they continued their rapid growth within the industry. Karsten sold to Clayton Homes in 2005, and he officially retired in 2010. Please welcome to the stage Harry Karsten.
There's only two times that my speech was limited. One was when I told my wife, Joan, of 63 years, that she was on a budget. The second one was when I asked Kevin Clayton for a raise. I'm honored to be here for a whole bunch of reasons, but 60 years ago, I came to Elkhart, Indiana. I was hired by Skyline in a sales position. I was met by the Skyline Group, and Art became a member of the Hall of Fame. But more important, Art inspired me. Art was a member of YPO when he was on Time Magazine, and when I saw that on Time Magazine, I wanted to be like Art. I wanted to be in YPO. I wanted to be the president of a company, and he was an honorable man that I loved to death. And he's in the Hall of Fame, and he deserves it. The other guy was Jim Boyce, who's in the Hall of Fame. He indoctrinated me into Hall of Fame. But being that I am given a certain limited time to talk, I would say that there's a whole bunch of people that are Hall of Fame members that I admire. Barry Cole, Jess Maxey, Kevin Clayton, and many, many, many more. But remember, I'm limited. My wife told me I can only talk so long. So I will end with a couple of stories. As a professional, I wasn't not a professional football player, but professional football players, when they talk about retiring, they talk about what they miss, which is the relationships, which is what I miss. I have relationships with a lot of retailers, with a lot of suppliers. John Hook, who came here to join me. Ray Gritton, who was my closest friend. Ray Gritton and I did millions of dollars of business with nothing more than a handshake. Equally important, the first class of the Hall of Fame included my father-in-law, Jerry Golden. Jerry Golden was a man of honor, integrity. You could trust him. He deserved every honor that he ever got. So that's a lead-in to where I am today. I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to be part of this, but there's something more important maybe than that. People that I know ask me, when does Joan get her award, her green jacket? Joan is my wife of 63 years. I should tell you a little story about her. We've known each other since we were in junior high school. We went to our 10th high school reunion, and I had become president of Golden West Homes. Golden West Homes. And we met somebody that she had dated, and he was a gardener. I said, Joan, aren't you glad you didn't marry him because you'd be married to a gardener? She said, no, aren't you glad I didn't marry him because he'd be president of Golden West Homes? So any of you that know her, she's the underlying basis of my success. Everybody loves her, including me. So I'd like you to give some applause to her. The hell with me. Good night.
All right, now Harry, before you leave, I've got to ask you a question because I'm a big believer in cause and effect. Okay, so you shared that you had a conversation with your wife that she was going to be on a budget. And then you mentioned that the second conversation was that you asked Jerry for a raise. May I assume that the first conversation did not go that well? Ladies and gentlemen, Harry Karsten. From the RV class of 2022, Veronica Hepp. Veronica, or Ronnie if you will, first served this country as a civilian administrator for the United States Army. Thank you for your service. Yes, please. Ronnie then became the administrator for 4 RVDA-related boards, where she quickly learned that RV people don't necessarily follow orders like military people do, and including the board of directors. And then Ronnie has also been a dedicated servant leader in her Virginia community as a volunteer for many, many organizations. Ladies and gentlemen, salute. There is a lady on the stage, Veronica Hepp.
You know, a funny thing happened to me on the way to retirement. I learned I was being inducted into this monumental RVMH Hall of Fame. And for that, I'm extremely humbled and honored. I also want to congratulate my fellow inductees around the room tonight, too. I'm in a really fun class. But thank you, Bill Thomas, for leading the charge in my induction. I appreciate that. It's kind of funny that I got here simply by doing my job, but that's exactly what happened. I hold in my hand here a miniature of a poster of the past chairmen and leaders of RVDA. I've said it before and I'll say it again. These are a few of my favorite things. These people are the people, the dudes and the dudesses that I served. We formed a friendship and a bond that surpassed work. We became family, from Dave Altman clear down to Mike Pirro. Pardon me. I've been included in family weddings, birthdays, grand openings, and funerals. I've become welcome to the lives and families of not just the people on this poster, but also those who served on other boards and committees with me. Unbeknownst to some, we could really get serious stuff done during the board meetings while playing tic-tac-toe, Rick Horsey, or playing bull spit bingo with Dan Pearson, who couldn't be here tonight. I'd like to shout out to hundreds of you people here in this room tonight, but I can't do this in this short little thing, so please know that I love you all. Let me shout out my gratefulness to Phil Ingracia and Mike Molino for giving me the opportunity and the freedom to be all I could be. Thanks to our staff members that are here tonight, Karen, Hank, Julie, Jeff, and Tony. I also worked with many, many of you in this room on the former RV Industry Committee on Excellence, the Technician Certification Governing Board, the RV Service Training Council, and way back, the Aftermarket Committee. Remember that, Daryl? If I served with any of you on any RVD or industry board or committee during my 27-year tour, my presence here on this stage is due to you. I want to give a public I love you and thanks for being here to my family, my husband Bob, my son Robert, our daughter Stacy, and my sister Kay. And this is the year of the HEPs. In November, my husband will be inducted into the Virginia Aviation Hall of Fame as well. So to the RVMH Heritage Foundation board members, thank you for selecting me into this illustrious Hall of Fame. And I thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for listening all the way down to here. I love you all. Sorry, Rick, here it goes. And I'm out.
On the MH side is Eugene Landy. Landy served our country as a member of the United States Merchant Marines and the U.S. Naval Reserve. Once again, thank you for your service. You bet. Landy is a 1958 graduate of Yale Law School. Normally, Yale Law School graduates become Supreme Court justices. Landy decided he wanted to be even more successful, so he founded UMH Properties, which has become one of the most substantial community owner properties in the world. Landy is the co-founder and the president of the Monmouth Real Estate Investment Corporation. Ladies and gentlemen, Eugene Landy.
How do you respond to an honor from such a distinguished group in such an important industry? And I think the proper way to respond is that I should do more. Now, to my wonderful team, the people who actually do all the work today, they're now hearing that they have to do more. But we do need more housing. It is critical. The affordable housing crisis is real. The shortage of workforce housing is interfering with our economy. The size of it is overwhelming, and our industry cannot solve it, but we can participate. And the goal that we have set for the industry is that we should build 500 communities a year of 200 homes, 100,000 additional homes. That means we got to go back to 200,000 homes a year, and I think they can do it. It's not going to be easy, but I think they will get the material and the manpower, and certainly the demand is there. We have waiting lists everywhere, and we want to build more housing. And that's our ambition, that's our goal, and it's not the easiest task to do. It'd be easy now with waiting lists and good financial results to rest on our laurels, but we want to build our little company, not so little anymore, with 500 employees and a huge rent roll and 25,000 sites. But we want to build 2,000 or 3,000 sites a year, and today that's $100,000 to build a site and $100,000 to put a manufactured home on it. That's $200,000 a year. And that's $200 million a year, $300 million a year that we have to raise to build it. But it's something that has to be done. You can't have a society with no housing. You can't have a society where the employer can't hire people. And so this is something that we all must work harder to do. and we're doing it. What a wonderful team we have. We've toured the local communities that we bought 5, 10, 20 years ago. Our goal is when we buy a community, we make it a better community. And we try with everyone to be fair with them. Good faith and fair dealing is our motto. And so we try with our customers, our suppliers, and particularly with our tenants. What a strange company we are. We don't try to charge the highest rent that you could possibly. We try to charge the rent that's lower than everybody else and produce a better product. And you want to know something? If you do that, you're going to be a tremendous business success. So we're working now very hard to build new communities. And at my age, it's not so easy. But it's something that you really have to do. The proper response to being honored for good deeds is that you should do more. So thank you.
From the RV class of 2022 is Louis Schaum. Louis caught the RV bug working for his parents at Elkhart Supply Company. Schaum later became president, immersed himself in continuing education, and continued to grow the company. Schaum is credited with developing what is called the flare-it fitting, which has become invaluable to our industry. Schaum and his family have been long-time supporters of youth programs here in our community, which is close to my heart. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podium, Louis Schaum.
I want to thank all the people that nominated me for this incredible award. I would also like to thank my family and my friends and my employees that really are part of my family for all their support. If it was not for all of you, I would not be able to do the things I have done, and I wouldn't be standing here today. I feel honored and humble to be part of this industry. It's been a wonderful journey over the last 50-some years, from seeing RVs with 2x2 outside walls, extension cords for their power systems, radios for their entertainment centers, to what we have now, a home on wheels, so that every American family can enjoy all the beautiful sights of America. So thank you again.
Our final honoree of the evening is a man who quite obviously never stands still, Tim Williams. Tim joined Clayton Homes at the age of 21, then helped start Vanderbilt Mortgage in 1982, and for good measure began 21st Mortgage Corporation in 1995. 21st Mortgage became part of Berkshire Hathaway's family in 2003, and Williams remains the CEO. Tim is exceptionally active in his Tennessee community, supporting Zoo Knoxville, the Symphony Society, and the Boys and Girls Clubs. Yes, Boys and Girls Clubs. And Tim's life takes him high and low. He is an instrument-rated pilot, and he's a scuba diver. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Williams.
First, I want to thank the committee for selecting me to this fine group of people. I think it's really wonderful that the association has created a museum and a place where people who have made contributions to this industry will always be immortalized, and there'll be a place where we can remember their contributions. And I want to recognize some people. You know, Jim Clayton says, when you see a turtle on a fence post, you know he didn't get there by himself. And so I've got a lot of people to thank. First, I want to recognize my wife, who gets me going every morning and gives me something to look forward to every evening. She's very special to me. And I want to tell you that I did start at Clayton Homes. That's where I started my career. I worked for Jim Clayton for 21 years. Best role model anybody could ever have. Gave me opportunities that I didn't. Well, I deserved them, but nobody else would have given them to me except him. And I very much appreciate Jim Clayton. And my business partner for over 40 years, Rich Ray, he probably should be up here instead of me. Been a great business partner, my closest friend for many, many years. And at 21st Mortgage, we have 950 team members, and there's a small group representing us this evening. Start with Troy Fussell. He manages a portfolio of $12.5 billion, 12.5 billion, 212,000 customers. Thank you, Troy. Get that straight. So he has 600 team members that manage that portfolio. Beth Cola manages our inventory finance group. It's a $950 million business. And we also have some RV inventory finance. So if you need inventory finance, that's the person to see. Lance Hall, our director of marketing, and Ryan Roth, who makes sure I'm a good pilot and keeps me safe. And we're very much appreciative. And then Bailey Anglin, who is our director of human resource and engagement and represents the other 900 team members at 21st Mortgage. Thank you very much for including me.
Tim, I don't know if you noticed when you were making the introductions, the largest applause came from your wife when you introduced Mr. Roth, the pilot trainer. She apparently appreciates still having you around, so. Once again, a big round of applause for our 2022 Hall of Fame inductees. And I'm going to let you go in just a moment. But first, I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here as part of the celebration tonight. My good friend Gary Sieber had the night off, and we wish him well. But boy, his loss is my gain for this evening. And I want to share with you that Gary is the consummate professional. It's what makes him really good at what he does. For me, my approach is a little different. It's almost always purely personal. So it gives me the opportunity tonight from outside the organization to come and speak with you, to thank you on behalf of our community for everything you have done to make us prosperous. You are amazing. I moved here in 1977 with my family to stay 3 or 4 years. It's worked out a little differently. And you have blessed my family with prosperity and success and opportunity. Not that I've ever spent a day working in the RV industry, but what you've done to propel the economy of this community has floated all boats, and we are appreciative. When I arrived in October of 1977, my daughter Angela was 3 months old, our first child, and she used to love when I came home to be able to sit down in front of the television set and watch Sesame Street. Oscar the Grouch, also known as Don Gundin, Bert and Ernie, Big Bird, all of them. And one of the things that caught me right away as the end of the program would come is there was always this line at the end of the PBS presentation that would say, "This program made possible by a grant from the Arthur J. Decio Foundation." And Art later became, through my radio days, a lifelong friend, but he was also a great mentor and a great teacher because he taught me what a wonderful, benevolent community the RV and the MH community is here in Elkhart County. And please. And I have learned that lesson personally over and over and over again throughout my career and through my personal life here in Elkhart County. Flashback 25 years ago, my bride, Pat, was seriously ill in Florida when we'd gone on vacation, was paralyzed from the neck down by a syndrome called Guillain-Barré. We were at a complete loss as to what in the world we were going to do. A couple of friends from the RV industry and mobile home industry, manufactured housing industry, got together, raised a little money, flew us home from Florida, and helped us take care of my bride, who today is healthy and wonderful and taking care of me the way Tim's bride takes care of him. We literally owe a great deal of Pat's recovery and health to you folks. When I left the radio industry and went into nonprofit work at Basher Children's Home when we needed to rebuild the cottages that had fallen in complete disrepair, it was the RV industry and the MH industry that stepped up and led the way and helped us with a fundraising campaign that quite literally saved the agency. And through my work as a member of the board of the Boys and Girls Club here in Elkhart County, I can look at table after table after table after table and see people who have stepped up and helped not only our agency, but agencies throughout the county. We live a better life in Elkhart County because the RV industry and the MH industry calls this county home. On behalf of the Turner family and all of the other families that you help make a difference for, God bless and good night.